So recently there have been a few smartphone launches under 15K. You have this G31, G51 as well from Motorola, and then you have the OG like the Redmi Note 10, Realme 8 5G and Samsung M32, which are the most popular phones at this price. And this might be the last smartphone suggestion video under 15,000 since there won't be a lot of launches for the next 2-3 months. So these are the best smartphones to buy under 15,000 plus. I'm also going to cover which smartphones you should avoid. We have tested all these phones, use them on daily basis, and we have them in our hands. And you'll also find videos of these phones on the channel. So it's practical usage rather than reading specs. And if you love that, subscribe to TechWiser to stay wiser and hit the bell icon as well. Let's go. So first up, we have the Budget King Redmi Note 10. Now, the Redmi Note series is always known to provide the best hardware for the price, and even though this phone has launched 9 months ago, still no phone in the market can beat it for the specs. So number one, it has a 60Hz AMOLED display, and it's a good AMOLED display, which is rare in this range. And before you say it, it still has Widevine L1. It has not gone with an update, if you know what I mean. Also, you get stereo speakers, which is sometimes crazy in this price range. I wonder how Xiaomi manages it. Second, Snapdragon 678. Now, there are phones which give you MediaTek Helio G95, G88, but I would say Snapdragon 678 is right up there, and it is a good, powerful processor in the 14,000 range. In day-to-day tasks and even half an hour of gaming, BGMI, it does the job. Like, I did a comparison of G31 versus Redmi Note 10. You can find it here, watch it after this video, and the performance of Redmi Note 10 was quite good. And also, third, cameras. I was surprised to see how good is the camera on Redmi Note 10. You get 4K video recording, good selfies, and equally good photos. Now, of course, there are cons as well. Number one would be MIUI. There are still bugs in MIUI after 6 to 7 months. Number two, proximity sensor. I use it as a daily driver, and there are call problems when you take the call through the earpiece. Number three, all year, Redmi Note 10 series prices have been increased multiple times. This phone was released for 13,000 and the price was increased by 500 twice. So now it's 14,000 on Amazon, and Flipkart is even selling it for 15,500. The price hike has been very bad. It's not good for customers like me and you. And now you might be wondering, Pratik, why did you choose Redmi Note 10 over Redmi Note 10 Lite or Redmi 10 Prime? Okay, I got you. There's only one reason. I prefer 60Hz AMOLED over 90Hz or 120Hz LCD. Now, this is a personal choice for me. If you like LCD displays, you can even buy Redmi 10 Prime. Redmi 10 Prime is as good as Redmi Note 10. Next up, we have the newly launched Moto G31. Now, in 2021, we have seen a good comeback of Motorola in the market. Earlier, the image of Motorola was they have stock Android and make costly phones, but with phones like Edge 20, Edge 20 Fusion and G31, G51, etc., they seem to be providing good competition to Xiaomi and Realme. By not only competing with hardware, but also cutting their price. This is exactly what we saw with G31. The most compelling reason to get Moto G31 is 60Hz OLED display. It's the first Moto phone in budget to have OLED display at the first place. Number two, stock Android experience. One of the few phones to have no ads under 15,000. You also get a 5000 mAh battery, but trust me, with stock Android, it goes almost 2 days, or even in heavy usage, you can get it to 1.5 days easily. Now, there's two cons in this phone that you should know. Number one, MediaTek G85 is a 2-year-old chip. So if you're a heavy user or you game a lot, G31 is not the phone for you. Number two, you don't get 4G carrier aggregation, which can be a deal breaker if you use only mobile data. Other phones like Redmi Note 10 or even Moto's own G51 give carrier aggregation. And boo! Talking about Moto G51, Moto G51 in my opinion is probably the least compromised 5G phone in this price segment. Now, number one reason, it has 12 5G bands, and not only that, you get really good 3CA carrier aggregation. In simple words, it will not only give you a good 5G but also good 4G speeds, which no phone in this range offers. Number two, cameras. Moto G51 has one of the best cameras under 15K, and if you know budget 5G phones, Moto G51 is the first 5G phone in the budget to give an ultra wide angle camera. Wow, priorities. And hands down, best 5G camera phone in budget. Number 3, Snapdragon 480 Plus. Now, this might sound like a 10,000 processor, but blame Snapdragon for the names. Snapdragon 480 Plus is a really good chip. It is a 15,000 chip. You can watch this video over here. I have compared it to other 5G phones with Dimensity 700 and it's on par with them. However, the only con you need to know in this phone, which in my opinion is not a con, but it comes with 120Hz LCD display. Now, it's nothing new. The other Moto G40 Fusion 4G phones also come with LCD, so it was quite obvious of Motorola to put an LCD screen. Next up, we have Realme. Now, I know Realme under budget is very confusing. It's like that Spider-Man meme. No, you. We have Realme 8 4G, Realme 8 5G, Realme 8 Pro, Realme 8S, Realme 8i, and I'm not even counting Narzo 3050, which falls under the same price range. See, the thing is, it's really confusing. And it's not just for you, but for us as well. But in simple words, all they are doing is simply changing one or two specs, putting a label of 5G and putting it in the market. Now, in this video, I've picked the Realme 8 5G since it's the most popular, but other 5G phones are also the same. Now, the pro is the Dimensity 700 is a good processor that supports 5G. There's not much game support, but in day-to-day tasks like browsing, video calling, WhatsApp, taking photos, it performs really well. But the problem with whole 5G phones in this segment are they are full of compromises. We did a very detailed video here on 5G phones in budget, but just to give you a small idea, if you compare Realme's own Realme 8 5G and Realme 8 4G, Realme 8 5G doesn't have carrier aggregation, which is funny. It's like, I'm a graduate, but I don't have a 12th standard degree. What? Next up, you don't get wideband L1, so you can't watch Netflix at 1080p or even 720p. Number 3, you get an LCD screen, then you don't get a secondary noise cancellation mic. I mean, I can go on and on. It's a huge list. The point being, or just a piece of friendly advice, if you're looking to buy a future-proof 5G phone, I would say spend a bit more and get a 5G phone around 20,000. Or in fact, the Realme Narzo 30 Pro at 17,000. It's an overall better phone that provides 5G. Now, finally, for people who want Samsung phones, this is Samsung F22. We bought it, we used it. Here's a comparison, and I would say, don't buy it. Get Samsung M32 instead, and I'll give you two solid reasons for it. Number 1, Samsung M32 has a 1080p AMOLED display. Samsung F22 on the other hand has a 720p display. And more importantly, the 720p display shows. Number 2, Samsung M32 has full One UI. Now, in case if you don't know, Samsung has two One UI variants, One UI Core and full One UI. Now, all flagship or few M series phones have full One UI. Samsung F22 on the other hand has Core One UI. The problem with that is you don't get basic features like screen recording, Knox folder, secure folder, etc, etc. You also don't get the single take camera feature, which lets you click good photos and videos from all cameras at once. Rest, most of the things like day-to-day performance, charging speed, battery life is the same on M32 and F22. So I would advise you to get Samsung M32 instead of F22. And number 3, Samsung is the only or one of the few phones to have their own Samsung dialer, which doesn't give call recording announcement. So if call recording is a really important feature for you, Samsung M32 under 15,000 is the phone. Now, of course, cons to the Samsung M32 is number 1, processor. You get MediaTek Helio G80, which is not the best in this price range. So performance or gaming is out of the question. Number 2, charging. You still get a 15 watt charger which charges slow. Now 20 watt or 33 watt is a standard in this price range, but Samsung gives you a 15 watt charger. So that was the list. And hey, let us know if you like to see a video on phones that you should avoid in 2021 or just every 3 months. I would like to know from you guys. On that note, this is Prateek signing off. And if you have a budget of 25,000 or 20,000, here are some videos. You can check them out as well. See you soon.